What's going on, you guys? Another live stream this afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's day is going according to plan. We got a few things to talk about today. I was going to do videos on it, but I figured I'd just go live. Rolando Romero comes out and pretty much drops the bomb on Gervonta Tank Davis, Adrian Broner. What in the fuck is going on out here? Hold on, you guys. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, Rollie Romero comes out and pretty much snitches on Tank Davis. Says about he got 14 open accounts and AB did this and that, and they pulled him to fight. He is insinuating that Floyd Mayweather and them pulled him from the fight because they didn't want him pretty much upsetting Tank Davis. He said he didn't do nothing. He said there is nothing. And really, they wanted him to fight Isaac Cruz in the first place. Hit that like button for your boys. You come on in the building. What's going on, Q to God? Damone Daniel, salute. Yes, we go get this thing cooking. We go talk about what Bud Crawford also had to say. Bud's been a little bit more vocal about, PBC welterweights ducking him. And, of course, Canelo Alvarez is able to secure the opponents, unlike Bud Crawford has. And that's something that I've been saying for quite a while. Teddy Atlas also says some things that I've been saying, that he's tired of Canelo fighting these guys. He's tired of Canelo fighting these guys. And let's start off with Rollie real quick. Rollie was he was on the live and he was eating a sandwich and shit. That motherfucker looked good as a motherfucker. But he was eating a sandwich, talking about his situation. Now, he didn't get into detail about the sexual accusations or anything like that, but he talked about the fight. And based off what he was saying, he feels as if they pulled him out of the fight. And that could be the case. Based off what we know, Adrian Broner has been having some situations. Tank Davis has had some situations. And they were still able to go through with their fights. But Rolando Romero has gotten pulled from his fight. Now, it could be due to the nature of his situation is why they possibly put him out of the fight. This feminist-like society, this new cult, they probably put him out of the fight for that reason. But Rollie is adamant that they put him out of the fight for the fact that he could possibly beat Tank Davis. Yeah, Craig Smith, I think Pitbull is a tougher fight too, Yeah, Damone Danes. I heard those rumors as well about Errol Spence. We're gonna talk about that. We talked about it yesterday, but we can talk about it again. We gonna see what Errol does. He knows this is what he has to do. And yeah, Daryl Smith, a classic salute. He said this is a classic example of dry snitching. That's exactly what he was doing. And see, these younger guys, no disrespect to the younger guys that's in here, but they just don't understand. They just don't seem to get it. You literally dry snitch, bro. Do you realize that? He probably don't even notice it. He probably didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Then him and Tiafimo out doing little, interviews together, both just trolling. Fans don't really like those guys, man. Fans don't like Rollie. Fans don't really like Tiafimo like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Rolando Romero really... Let me see what he said. Let me go. He was talking some big shit, man. Calling Tank all kinds of bitches and... Hold on.
Motherfuckers scared to promote fucking his ass beating. Wanna go promote that shit? And people accuse a fat fuck.
He's saying that Tank Davis wasn't even promoting his fight when they had a fight lined up. Tank Davis, you couldn't find him. And then once his Pitbull Cruz fight comes about, now Tank is all of a sudden promoting. Maybe Tank feels that he may have to promote this fight because the nature of the opponent. Pitbull Cruz probably don't even speak English. He probably don't really talk. he probably ain't gonna do no talking. So Tank probably got put on his promoter hat and start doing a little bit of promoting. With the Orlando Romero fight, well, Rollie was gonna be doing some of that promoting. But he pretty much was dry snitching on Tank Davis, Adrian Broner. You know, he was dry snitching on those guys. He feels that Floyd Mayweather and them pulled him out of the fight. They put Isaac Cruz in there because that's who they wanted anyway. I don't know really what to believe. Salute to Trav. What's going on, man? I see you in the building. They calling Tio the disputed champion. They calling Teofimo the disputed champion, bro. It's hilarious. Teofimo just, man, it's crazy how 1 minute fans was on board with this kid. You know, we was expecting good things. Now your boy Bushido seen it early, but for the most part, people was expecting Tio to just kind of take the sport on his shoulders and do great things. And look at him now, man. He's like the laughing stock of boxing. You know, like people just don't take him seriously. Nobody's, you know, he beat Loma and everything, and people just don't really care for the guy. And then by him getting up there and stealing Canelo's moment, you know, that was lame as hell. And that's why I said these young guys just don't seem to really just get it. Dry snitching, overdoing things. Just step back and just pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody in the building. He said, Bushido, mate, you are very delusional. You really think that Crawford is going to kill Porter, mate? Crawford had a hard time killing one-legged Benavidez. He said his name is Diego Hernandez, and he's calling me mate. Your name is Diego Hernandez, and you are calling me mate. I mean, a lot of people feels that Crawford is going to stop Sean Porter, and I gave my reasons why. Diego, mate, I gave my reasons why. Maybe a one-legged Benavidez is tough. Maybe Benavidez is just tough. We haven't seen nobody else at that weight class compete against Jose Benavidez. Nobody. Crawford's the only one. Benavidez is one of the bigger welterweights too, by the way, who's now going to be campaigning at 154. I mean, we ain't even seen Spence in there with anybody that's taller than him, bro. So I'm not really trying to hear that Benavidez shit. I think Benavidez is probably a solid fighter. He got one leg, but he be making it work. This one-leg motherfucker went 11 rounds with Terrence Crawford. One leg. I want to see somebody else fight Benavidez now. Now that he got his shit together, I want to see him in there with somebody else. Yeah, bro. A lot of people think, but Diego, I mean, Porter gave everybody hell. He has. But I don't know about Bud. I don't know if he gonna be able to do that with Bud. I think, like I said before, his best chance to really manhandle and roughhouse Crawford probably would have been early on, back in 2018. But now, I don't think that's the case. Sean Porter's a guy that's been making that weight for a long time. He's a guy that's, one may say he's part-time now. You know, he's commentator. He's falling asleep on set. He's been in a lot of wars. His style isn't necessarily, you know, how much longer could he go? Crawford's stopping Sean, and Crawford's one of the best finishers in the sport. Errol Spence ain't a great finisher, bro. Danny Garcia ain't a great finisher, bro. Keith Thurman, and he lost that one-time shit years ago. I got Crawford stopping Porter anywhere from 9 through 12. Either his dad gonna be throwing in the towel, or the referee gonna be pulling Crawford up off of him. Q to God says, if Charlo goes up 168, do you think Andre could get the WBC? Maybe GG, Andre could fight. Man, I don't see Triple G fighting any of those guys. I don't see Boo Boo Andre getting a shot at all whatsoever. He's probably the most unfortunate champion, undefeated fighter in boxing. He will not be getting any opportunities. If you look at some of the lists that even guys like Teddy Ellis have, that he wants Canelo to fight next, shit like that, Andre's name is nowhere to be found. It's almost like writing his name down is almost like a death note. You write his fucking name down, then you might wind up fucking dead somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They don't even want to say this dude's name. So like Bernard Hopkins was telling him, he's going to have to do more. He's going to have to do the most. He's going to have to be Shannon Briggs Jr. That's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have, if Demetrius Andre really wants that smoke, he's going to have to go above and beyond He's going to pull a Shannon Briggs. He's going to pull a Jack Johnson. He's going to be traveling, following these guys everywhere they're at. He's going to have to spend some money and follow these guys all over the place to the point where they have to fight him. Yo, he's chasing him. Yeah, he is chasing him. When is he going to stop running? But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, man. Sean's been dropped by Adrian Broner late in the fight. And you saw the way AB walked away. And actually, let's talk about Sean Porter. Sean Porter, and like I said, I like Sean a lot. I think he's a throwback fighter. He gets all the respect in the world. But I've seen instances where guys like Broner, and even though Broner struggled with Sean's style, Broner had not a scratch on him. Go back and watch that shit. Sean Porter couldn't do that shit that he was doing to Paulie and to Berto against even an AB. 135er. A guy who literally hopped up 2 weight classes to see him. No acclamation, no nothing. He hopped up, he knocked Sean Porter down late. Sean, he struggled against Sean's style, but he did better than a lot of other people. Adrian Broner didn't have a fucking scratch on him. Sean Porter messes up everybody. Everybody. Now, Crawford's style isn't as defensive as Broner's. However, Crawford will fucking fight your ass, unlike Broner. He will push back, unlike Broner. He will make you pay for your mistakes, unlike Broner, who fell in love with the Mayweather style, and it was a style that only Mayweather can get away with using. Why? Because the judges knew what to look for when they was watching Floyd Mayweather, and they was going to let him get away with it. And Floyd did a good job of making it look like this dude did not touch me at all. Styles makes fights, people. He says, Bushido, bro, if Errol was ducking Crawford, Spence would have moved up to 154. I mean, Spence, man, it's dangerous wherever Spence goes, bro. 147, you got the young guys coming up, big welterweights coming up. Then you got guys like Bud still around. Then you got the 154 guys, guys like Brian Castano, who's a beast. I heard Charlo don't even want to rematch him. I heard Charlo is actually begging to fight his IBF mandatory. Brian Castano's he gonna have a hard time getting that fight again. But Sean Porter, I mean, even when you watch the top rank little stuff they make, just watching Crawford and Porter style dude on the highlights, Porter just looks so much. He looks slower. His punches look very telegraphed. He's just like a brawler. Crawford's going to be, oh my God. Sean Porter better be on his A game. He's better be sharp. He better keep them punches tight. No looping shit, because Crawford will make you pay. It's gonna be Sean Porter. This might be the first fight we see him get stopped. Salute to Kofi Universe for the super chat. He says earlier today, Porter said he will jump on Bud when he switches stances, and Bud won't have any success all night. Wow. Thanks for that, Kofi Universe. You guys go subscribe to Kofi Universe. He got all kinds of great content over there. Go subscribe to Kofi's Universe. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Yeah. So, wait, let me put that on the screen for you guys. You guys can't see it. Hold up. Yeah. He said Porter will jump on Bud when he switched stance. So Porter is pretty much giving away his game plan. I don't think that's a good idea. But they planning on hopping on Crawford once he switches stances. But Crawford does it so fluently. You really don't see Bud switch stances like that. And sometimes he do it by round. But that is the right play. You catch Crawford when he's switching stances. That's like a little opening. But will Sean be able to capitalize on it? Especially now that he kind of gave it away. Right? He kind of gave it away. I wouldn't have gave that away. That he was gonna hop on him when he switched stances. I don't know if that was a good move. What's going on, Sonny Chiba? He said the more aggressive he is, the faster he's getting stopped. I think so too, man. It's gonna look like the Felix Diaz fight. Maybe a little sloppier. Sean is sloppier than Felix. Felix is a southpaw also. So, I It's gonna look like that fight, man. You know, it's gonna look like that. It's gonna look like that. Sean's about to get beat up. Yes, hit that like button for your boy. He said, I hit the dislike for my boy Arrow. Oh, man. Hey, I mean, I see what you're saying. You know, styles make fights. But I think Crawford's style, Porter's style is almost tailor-made for Crawford. It's almost tailor-made for him. Spence barely got through Porter. Maybe Spence just is not as good as everybody thinks, bro. We go see how Crawford looks. This is a good barometer to see how these guys really stack up against a primed, common opponent. Because people ain't giving Crawford credit for Kell Brook. You know, Spence struggled against Kell. Crawford stops Kell. Right? Spence struggles against Sean. We go see if Crawford's going to stop Sean. If Crawford stops Sean, yikes. Yikes. That's a huge statement. Will that put Crawford over Canelo on the pound-for-pound list for many? I don't think so. Canelo, I don't think it will put Crawford over Canelo just because of the fact that Canelo just, I mean, he got the juice right now, big time, in a big way. There's nobody not even close. And Crawford said that Crawford's pretty much the same way that Canelo's over him on pound for pound just because he's able to secure the fights. You know, that Crawford, Canelo's able to secure the fights and he's not. So that's why, you know, guys like Canelo's passed him up as far as status in the sport. It's kind of hard to keep up with a guy who's like a walking lottery ticket. It'll be hard for any fighter, even a guy like Errol Spence who has the big tech span. It'll be hard for you to really keep up with a guy like Canelo Alvarez. Not to mention his fan base are mostly boxing fans. Mexican fans are soccer and boxing. Yeah, primarily that's their main sports. It's going to be hard for anybody to compete with Canelo Alvarez, period. He's able to secure the opponents. He's able to pick who he wants to fight. And Teddy Ellis is tired of it. I'm tired of it. And one of my guys, YSM Sports Media, brought it to my attention that the last 7, 8, 9 guys Canelo fought has been, you know, white guys. The last melanated guy he fought was Danny Jacobs, of course. Before that, I believe it was Chavez. And if we remember those fights, he couldn't put a dent in Chavez, a drained, dead man Chavez. He couldn't hurt that guy. He was hitting Chavez with the same shit that he's been hitting these guys with. Chavez didn't move. Chavez didn't move. People was questioning, did Canelo still have his power at that weight if he moved up? I remember. Then he fights Jacobs. Lackluster fight. Almost looked like a sparring session. Very lackluster. Couldn't really do much with Jacobs. Jacobs couldn't do much with him either. But then he went on of course, he fought Triple G. Triple G brought him the real fight. And then after that, he's been on the European tour, smoking these guys. He lands back in America. Now, I gave Caleb Plant a good chance to beat Canelo Alvarez because of his style. But I really wish I knew what I knew in that 9th round when he was talking to Canelo Alvarez. He didn't come out there to win neither. He's beating up on these guys. We need to see Canelo up in there with some real killers. And it seemed to be that the Eastern European dudes, some Latin Mexicans, and black guys would be his toughest opponents. It seemed like those would be his toughest because the guys that Teddy Atlas named were of that ethnicity and nationality. Beevil, Beeve. Now, he did name Joe Smith. I don't think Joe Smith could deal with Canelo. He's tough. He could punch. But Canelo, I don't see Canelo. I don't see him. I'd rather throw him had thrown Boo Boo Andre in there. And that's what I was saying earlier. These guys don't got Boo Boo Andre nowhere. If they write his name down, if they say his name, they may get got. The Shinigami may get him. So they don't want to come out saying nothing. They don't want to say Boo Boo. But will Canelo fight these dudes? Who knows? He said he's taking time off till May. And rightfully so. He fought 4 times in a year. I mean, who else in boxing is fighting, who makes that much money fighting 4 times in a year. How could Terrence Crawford compete with that? How could the other guys on the pound for pound list even compete? How? You can't even compete with it. So yeah, I agree with Teddy Atlas. I'm tired of Canelo fighting these guys. Caleb Plant over here talking about, and I'm pretty pissed about that. Talking about, yeah, I'm pretty good, right? And all this shit. No, bro. What you mean you pretty good? Then you continue to pity pat. No. No. We don't want to see that. We want to see fights. That was some bullshit. A lot of people was pretty upset about seeing that 9th round conversation. That was what? What was that? And then Crawford, let me tell you exactly what he said. I mean, he says he can't compete with that. Like, how could you compete with a guy that could pick anybody he wants to fight? That Terrence Crawford says Canelo's getting the fights he wants, but I haven't. You know, Crawford ain't able to secure. You know, he had a hard time even getting Porter. He can't get Thurman. These guys want a lot of money. Pacquiao wanted a lot of money. These guys are not lining up to fight Terrence Crawford like they're lining up to fight Canelo Alvarez. And that's why I had that video probably a couple of months back. Terrence Crawford is better than Canelo Alvarez. And I stand on that. He's better than Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, I don't care about all this. Canelo's a heavily politically driven fighter. The politics of boxing is not a factor for that guy. Terrence Crawford had to deal with a lot of politics of boxing. Yeah, he says he's definitely doing things differently to me because he's able to and capable of doing those things. He's able to get all the fights that he wants right now. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to. He has fought 4 times in the past year, and he has become undisputed. You know what I'm saying? And then he says, it has been frustrating, but what's meant for me, I will have said everything. Everything happens for a reason. I believe that my time is coming. I feel like I'm already there, but I have to prove it in the world, and it starts with Porter. So Crawford is optimistic that, salute to Damone Daines for the super chat. He says Chavez Sr. fought elite black fighters in their prime. So did Oscar. Canelo is a no black fighter tour. No black, bro. Bro. And people don't like when I say that, but it's facts, bro. Even Teddy Atlas is pretty much saying it for lack of better words. He did have Charlo on his list, but that's what he's doing, man. His last 8 out of 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 9 last opponents were white guys. You know, like that's literally what he's been doing. He's getting a lot of extra credit for it. And I mean, Canelo's good. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I have my questions now. I have my questions. How good is he really? How good is he really? You figure he don't come back till May. He decides to fight a guy like Beterbiev, who's probably about 36 by then. I mean, shit. And Canelo's only 31. It is what it is. But back to Bud. He says it starts with Porter. It starts with Porter. And hopefully from there, things will start to really fall into place for Crawford. Now, will Crawford ever surpass Canelo Alvarez in his current run as a fighter? Will he surpass Canelo Alvarez once again on the pound for pound list? Because Crawford was officially number 1 at one point, but now we have arguments. We have arguments that we can't dispute unless we just want to say that's our guy. He's number 1. Alexander Usyk becomes undisputed. No, not undisputed, but he's damn near undisputed. Beat Anthony Joshua. You got to keep him up there. He's doing big things. And then Canelo Alvarez is a guy who could just maneuver through boxing like nobody else we've seen before. Not even Floyd Mayweather was fighting 4 times in a year. You know what I'm saying? So by him being able to do that, he's staying sharper than everybody else. He can kind of pick his opponent, so he can kind of handle it. It's the perfect storm for him. It's the perfect scenario for a fighter is what Canelo Alvarez has. He got the fan base, the loyal, diehard fan base, one of the best fan bases in boxing. How could you beat that? How could you, even if Crawford knocks out Sean Porter, will he surpass Canelo on the pound for pound list? Even though, even if knocking out a guy like Sean Porter is a big feat, will he surpass Canelo Alvarez for doing so? Canelo Alvarez has become undisputed at 168. He's a multi-division champion. And even though he's lost and he has some asterisk by his name as far as the failed drug test, and you know, if a guy may not like your boy Bushido, I don't really care for the rehydrations, the stipulations, you know. I don't really care for that, because I feel that if you're the number one fighter in the world, you don't need none of that. You don't need none of that. You could beat them and you could take them how they come. That's the way I see it. I don't see Crawford putting hydration clauses on guys. You know, you got to have enough juice in the sport to really even do stuff like that. You got to be the man in the sport to even, you know, put something on a guy like that. And that's what happens. These guys over there in Europe, they succumb to his star power. They abide by all his stipulations. Even Jacobs, Jacobs came in at his normal weight, so he had to pay. But even still, they bow down to that stuff. And then they get in the ring with him, and it looks like a spar session on one end, and then he over there trying to knock their heads off. It's like, what the fuck? Teddy Atlas wants to see him fight some different guys, but will these guys show up and actually go up in there and try to beat Canelo? Who knows? Oh man. Salute to Damone Dance for another super chat. He says people act like Canelo, he lost. Yeah, I know, man. Like I said before, I don't see nobody beating him. I don't see nobody beating Canelo. Why? There's few reasons why. He could wait guys out. He's young enough to wait a lot of these guys out. He can pick and choose who he wants to fight, and he won't get no kind of flack for it. So even if a guy like Benavidez will get on his soapbox and really start campaigning for the fight, the Mexican fans may turn against him and may say, what has he done? He hasn't fought nobody. He don't deserve to fight. Especially if Canelo's showing reluctance on even acknowledging him as an opponent. You know what I'm saying? So he can go off and fight whoever he wants to fight, pull him up out the ground, beat him back into the ground, and then they go still label him number one pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be hard for anybody, even Crawford. I think if Crawford beats Porter, if he stops Porter, and then if he gets Spence and he stops Spence, then that should probably catapult him over Canelo. That should definitely catapult him over Canelo, because those are way tougher opponents than the guys that Canelo's been fighting. Way tougher guys. Way better guys. You know what I'm saying? Way tougher fights. So Bud will have to work harder to surpass Canelo. Canelo, it's going to be hard to beat that dude. That's funny, King David. Hey. Oh, shit. Wait, it says Sean Porter calls Terence Crawford a duck after Terence Crawford misses today's press conference. Wow, that's reported by Goodfellas Sports. Yeah. So, yeah, Crawford didn't show up to the press conference today, and Sean Porter calls him a duck. That's interesting. You say you think Andre can do it? I mean, the reason why I think Andre has probably one of the best chances. However, he's been fighting these lackluster opponents. How sharp is he to go up in there with a guy like Canelo, who who has all the best resources, who has just everything in his favor. Even if you beat Canelo, you may not beat him. Errol Spence was like, nah, man, I'm not even, fuck that fight. He ain't even thinking about that fight now. Like, nah, man, I ain't gonna be able to beat. Even if I did have a chance to beat him, I still probably wouldn't beat him. Who's gonna actually get up in the ring and pull a Triple G? Nobody, bro. Who's gonna actually go up in there and pull a Triple G? Who's gonna do it? Nobody, bro. Triple G was the only guy I remember going up in there actually trying to hurt Canelo Alvarez. The only guy who had Canelo on the back foot. Of course, in the first fight, he had Canelo on the back foot, and he was actually really trying to go out there and win. But who else has we seen go out there and actually try to win? Other than Lauren Floyd years ago against Canelo Alvarez, bro. Nobody. Nobody. And quite honestly, I'm sick of it. One second. One second, guys. Salute to Damone Danes for super. He said Bud would have to beat Spence, Charlo, and Fury. I'm telling you, man. I think you go have to have the fan base too to really. Canelo has the fan base to really solidify himself, and his fan base is loyal. They don't go against the grain. None of that. It's gonna be hard. Crawford gonna have to beat, like you said, Spence, Boots, Charlo, and Fury. Canelo has become undisputed. I mean, you ain't gonna never really be able to top that. And Teddy Atlas says that Canelo ran up there when there was nobody up there to fight these vulnerable fighters. Yeah, he ran up there to fight vulnerable fighters. He seen that it was an opening, and he ran for it. You know what I'm saying? He ran for it. He ran up there to fight those vulnerable guys at 168 once he seen David Benavidez get stripped. That's what Teddy said. So he's not feeling how Canelo's moving out here, you know. And then that Caleb Plant conversation really set the bar for a lot of people. Like, what was that? Why was you in there just, like, what the fuck? You said, do I think Andre can get it done? I think he can, but because he don't respect Canelo, unlike these other guys. I feel that if you have even if you show even even though Caleb Plant didn't show respect, he had a good poker. He played a good poker game with that. I gotta see it when you get in the ring. I gotta see your punches look like you trying to punch through this dude to the point where if you miss, you damn near fall into the floor. I haven't seen that since Triple G. These guys pity patting. Caleb Plant was pity patting, wasn't trying to really hit him hard. Wasn't fighting like it was his last. He did good in the outboxing showcase, but it ended similar to how Kovalev, Billy Joe Saunders ended. They was kind of having a way with Canelo until they wasn't. They just end up getting knocked out in a specific round. It's just, the fight is over. It's done. Like, what the fuck? What happened? Even though a dead man Kovalev was kind of having his way a majority of that fight until he essentially just put his hands down, put his chin in the air, and Canelo clocked him. That's what it looked like. Same punch against the ropes, left hook, boom. And now another thing I know is about the Plant fight, and I know the Saunders was doing it a lot too. They kept leaning down to the side to his right. They kept leaning down to where he could like hit him with the uppercut. Like, why y'all keep leaning? Like, why are you doing that? Like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Like, you the bigger dudes, why are you leaning down into this smaller man like that? Why are you leaning? Never mind. Sometimes, see, you heard about the yeah, I heard about that too, Dr. King, the realist. That that Brian Norman gave Bud some good work. But sometimes that happens. These young guys get up in there with a champion. You know, Bud is on autopilot. It's just another day in the office. A young guy like Brian Norman Jr., this is a big moment for him. Just like for Errol Spence and Floyd Mayweather. Just like for Larry Holmes and probably Muhammad Ali. We always see Muhammad Ali getting his ass kicked in sparring. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, you get surprised. Timothy Bradley was surprised by Crawford. But that was a consistent whooping in camp, though. But it happens. I heard about Sean Porter, too. I heard Sean Porter got dropped in camp. And, you know, I ain't speaking on it or nothing. It is what it is. Damone Dane said 168 is the weakest division. Bro, it is light, bro. It's light. It's real light. Benavidez probably is the best guy at that division, bro. Other than Canelo. Who else is at 168? Because to be honest with you, I don't believe in Plant no more after seeing that 9th round shit. Nope. Nope. I don't believe him no more. I don't believe in him no more. He says Canelo over all of these guys. I would like to see Canelo fight like a. This is hypothetical bullshit, but I wonder how he stacks up with some of the greats, middleweights, the Hagglers, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, or even Leonard and those guys. How would he stack up against them? I don't think he would stand a chance. He wouldn't stand a chance. He would not stand a chance. Those guys fought with purpose. Every punch was through you. Every jab was trying to pierce through you. They wasn't pity patting. They wasn't pity patting. Even Ray Leonard, as fast as he was, man, that dude was whipping them shots. They wasn't pity patting. Yeah, I agree with Teddy too, man. I don't agree with him all the time, but I agree with him on this one. Dave Morrell Jr. That's right, YSM Sports. Man, I forgot about him. What? Deontay Wilder versus Dillian White confirmed for May. Tyson Fury don't want to fight Dillian White. This is just the end real quick. Tyson Fury just don't want to fight Dillian White. Tyson Fury don't want to do nothing. So I don't believe this news. We'll wait for the official reports. But yeah, Deontay Wilder, Dillian White for May. We'll see. Yeah, but Dave Morrell Jr., I believe could possibly beat Canelo. I keep forgetting about him. He's so new into the sport. 5-0, 4 knockouts. However, he's already, I believe, WBA regular or interim champion. One of the two. And he should be next to face a guy like Canelo, but will Canelo fight the Southpaw Cuban, the young Southpaw Cuban? I don't think so. Who's a knockout artist? And he could box? Nah. Dave Morrell ain't getting that shot. He ain't got the fan base to back him either. This is why I say Canelo's unbeatable. He don't even got to look a guy like Dave Morrell's way. Even if they mandate it, he'll just say, yes. He'll just say, he won't have to fight that guy. He'll threaten to vacate the belts, and then they'll be like, oh, no, we don't need you doing that. And they'll let him do it. They'll make him a franchise or something or do something crazy. You know, he's the reason why this franchise shit started, man. Because he didn't want to fight Charlo. You know what I'm saying? Why not fight Charlo? Why? I feel that Canelo could beat Charlo. I feel that Canelo could possibly beat all these guys that he's been avoiding. But apparently they don't feel that he could beat him. Maybe Eddie Reynoso was telling him to stay away from those guys. Those are tough fights for us. It's bad business. But now he's more vocal about fighting Charlo. Maybe he's seen how Charlo looked against Montiel. However, Montiel's a 6'1" guy who really just had nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. And he showed up and he looked impressive, very impressive against Charlo. But that don't mean Canelo's gonna be able to do that. And I don't even really like the Charlos. I feel he should have been hopped on him. But maybe Charlo's a little too sharp. Maybe he's a little too explosive. Maybe his chin is just too good. Charlo got a good chin, a lot of stamina, good endurance, who don't really tire in fights. But his last fight, he didn't look too great. And that's why I said these guys are getting stale. Guys like Boo Boo, guys like Charlo, they're getting stale. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah, Dave. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're pretty good, Canelo. I know you're like, dude, what? Hold on, you guys. My bad, you guys. Yeah, but yeah, check out Dave Morrell for the guys who never heard of him. Check him out. Yeah, he's a 168 guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Canelo will fight that dude. He'll probably drop the belts and move up to 175 before he'll deal with that guy. Hold on, you guys. God, dog. These insurance people tripping. Jesus. Salute to Damone Danes for a super chat. He says Prime Roy, B Hop, all three of them beat Canelo. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I forgot about Roy and B Hop, all them. I forgot about them. Hell, man, come on, man. They probably wouldn't even get the fight. They would never even get the fight. They would never even get the fight. But guess what? Oscar fought Bernard. Why can't we get Charlo versus Andre? Because Charlo don't want to fight Andre, bro. Charlo, they don't want to fight Andre for whatever reason. Less chances of doing something. Man, I'm over here reading this damn thing. Yeah, man, I'm doing a little live. What time is it? Yeah, almost 4 o'clock here. Yeah, Charlo don't want to fight Andre, so you can only fight who's willing to fight you. That's why I'm not really too critical of Andre. Hold on, man. There's no way that insurance should be that high. Yeah, man, he could have got over 7-8 million to fight Boo Boo, but I don't know, man. I don't know what these guys are doing. I think they should have fought too. I agree. But you can only fight who's willing to fight you. He says Canelo just went undisputed. I mean, Canelo can fight, do whatever he wants. Okay? I know he's not going to fight a Dave Morrell. I know he's not going to fight a Boo Boo. He might fight a Charlo. He might or may not fight a Benavidez. If Benavidez looks really good against Kieran Davis, you can rest assured that ain't happening. So, what other white guy he's going to pull up out the ground to beat up on? He beat them all up already, except for Beaterbev. And by the time he gets Beaterbev in the ring, Beaterbev be damn near 36, 37 years old. Perfect. Edgar Berlanga? Nah, bro. Nah. Hell no. That'd be a big fight if Edgar Berlanga was like really ready. Nah. He ain't ready at all yet. Canelo beats the hell out of him. Charlo don't want to fight. None of them want to fight Andre Roger Hernandez. Teddy, you know the reason why Teddy is not with the boxing no more? Because the UFC actually provides gives the people what they want. I'm not mad at a thorough boxing guy like Teddy Atlas from converting over to MMA. It's for a reason. Because boxing ain't delivering like that. And there's probably other personal reasons on him as well. I'm not going to say here. But as far as being a fight fan, you can always turn on the UFC, good pay-per-view card, you go get some excitement. These guys fight their asses off. They ain't none of that pity patting shit, and they don't shit be looking like no sparring sessions. None of that. So I'm not mad at him for, looking into something new. A lot of guys like him normally wouldn't even acknowledge MMA, and he probably didn't at first. Actually, he didn't. He thought it was crazy with these guys on the ground and all that, but he sat there and learned it and started paying attention. I mean, hey, they delivering. He said boxing chewed him up and spit him out. There they did. Oh, man. Oh, the standard is going to be really high for Canelo. The standard is going to be really high for him. Why? Because he's able to do more than any other fighter. So my standard for Canelo is extremely high. One may see it as hate, but no, it's just my standard for him is high. Why? Because he's able to maneuver through boxing like nobody else can, especially at 31 years old. Where anybody in 54 to 168 will be lining up at the door to fight this dude. Will that be the same for Terence Crawford? I don't think so. It took Sean Porter to step to the door first. Now everybody else might come, depending on how this fight looks, or period, because Crawford's all roads lead to him now at this point. Yeah, he's running out of European fighters to beat on, AJ. So what is he going to do? He going to have to fight Charlo or Benavidez or somebody. But we're going to see how Benavidez looks against Davis. He should look good. He should look good against the guy. We going to see. He going to have to look good if he want to get a Canelo fight. He's going to have to look good. Yeah, I didn't like, that's what I don't like about Canelo, bro. I think he's a great fighter and all that, but I don't like that. Franchise belts being made for him. Shit like that. The stipulations, the rehydrations, the crazy scoring, that open scoring with Austin Trout was pretty bad. He was winning a fight until they did that shit, and then he thought he was losing or some shit, and you know what I'm saying? Like that was some bullshit. Even Floyd Mayweather got a majority decision. A majority decision. How could you beat a guy like that? Triple G. I had Canelo winning both fights. But after watching it again years later, Triple G was on his ass. And I can see why many people felt that Triple G won that fight. But guess what? Triple G didn't win. And then Canelo came out with an even better game plan the second fight. He walked and stalked. His natural style. I agree, Diego. As dangerous as Beterbiev. He could punch. He's experienced as far as amateur, but he's been pretty inactive. He does stay in shape and he works hard and shit, but ain't nothing like getting in the ring and fighting. So Canelo's been fighting these dudes, and they ain't been really they've been title holders, but they ain't been like world beaters. But he's still getting good work. He's staying sharper than the competition. He's outworking the competition. These guys ain't getting no work like he's getting. And then by the time he's ready to pick one of them, they be so dried out. They be like, hell yeah, I'll take it. I'll do whatever. Fuck it. I need the payday. I haven't been fighting for like 2 years. My family got to eat. Oh my God, thank you for picking me. And then they get in the ring and it turns to a sparring session. Come on, man. It's a game. It's a game. Beterbiev is 38? Oh, shit. I didn't know he was that old. I gave him the benefit of the doubt of being 35, 36. Wow. Perfect for him. That's perfect for Canelo. Go right on up and beat up on an old Beterbiev. Beterbiev got some juice. He got some belts. Perfect. And then if you wait, you figure he ain't come back to May. Oh, Beterbiev even older. You said the other fighters on challenge. There's a lot of bullshit in boxing. But Canelo should also go after those guys too. And you go after those guys. Why you in a European tour just beating up on those dudes? Nobody even know who those dudes are. Nobody even care about those guys. Yeah, he went over there and collect them belts though. So I mean, it was easy work for him too. It was real easy. And guess what? Everybody in boxing, they go fight him. Okay, he's 36. I'm about to say, I thought there's no way he's 38. Nope, I don't think Canelo beats Crawford. If Crawford was a middleweight fighter, I said it before. If Crawford was a natural middleweight fighter, he'll beat the shit out of Canelo, man. He will never get that fight. Crawford will never get that fight. Hell the fuck no. Nope, because he could do too much. He could come in there and beat your ass, and he could fight off the back foot. He can do too much. Crawford has too many tools. If Crawford was a middleweight fighter, he'll smoke Canelo. Smoke him. Canelo's only shot is to land one of those fucking leaping left hooks. Because Canelo he don't really use his jab like that. But unfortunately, Crawford is not a middleweight fighter, so we will never see that fight. You said Bivol and Andrade are the ones you see him giving the most problem right now. I don't know. Bivol been inactive, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys ain't been really fighting like that. You said Canelo don't beat Boots either. Hey, that's another good one. Boots at 160, matching up against Canelo. If Boots was a natural middleweight fighter, oh my God, he wouldn't even see Canelo, bro. It'll be he didn't do nothing. He don't got the fan base. It'll be all kinds of shit, bro. He wouldn't get that fight either. But a style more like Spence's is a little bit more tailor made for Canelo. So yeah, he'll try to pull a little Spence up, and beat up on him. Because his style is a little bit more textbook, a little bit more tailor-made, a little bit more predictable. And he's a smaller guy. I wouldn't even advise Spence to even consider that fight anymore. And I'm glad he's not. Canelo's just too big. Even if you go up in there and it's just not a good idea. It's not a good idea, man. Damn, he'll be 37 in January. He said Canelo may pick Darrell. And y'all heard what Darrell said. Darrell came out and said that he may retire unless he gets a Canelo fight. So he's kind of campaigning for a Canelo fight. You know, he knows he's ripe for the picking. You know, they saying that Canelo ain't fighting black fighters. Well, he go fight Andre Darrell next. Give him a severance package on his way out. 37 years old, has definitely seen better days, even though he looked pretty good against the guy he was in there with last weekend or whatever. They're not gonna, no. Darrell is 37. That's what I'm saying. It's right up his alley. He says, better be even people are great fights. Man, my only reason why I say that, bro, is because they just haven't been active. They really haven't been too active. You know what I'm saying? They not how, you know, I know people stays. I know they disciplined dudes and shit. They stay in the gym and everything, but I don't know, man. And then by the time, you know, Canelo fights usually in May and September, you know, those guys will be older. You know, they sitting around. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a waiting game. Do they want to wait around for him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bad idea. He said he'll fight Darrell on Cinco de Mayo and Charlo in the fall. Joe Smith Jr. is a slugger. He'll be a good point. He don't got the experience to deal with Canelo. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Pito? I see you. What's going on, Latch Puma Skills? I see you. Man, I hope Canelo don't fight. I mean, that'd be good for Darrell to get a nice little payday, but I don't know if Canelo's going to fight him. If Canelo comes out and says payday, I'm not gonna like it because he only says that to black fighters. So I have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Especially ones that show aggression towards him. Kamaru Usman didn't even do it though. He said, "Nah, payday." I don't know. We're gonna see what Canelo decides to do. He can do whatever he wants. It's gonna be hard for anybody, even Crawford, or even Inoue or anybody to top what he's doing and what he's able to do. You know, he can get the opponents. He got the fan base. I mean, shit. It's gonna be hard for anybody in boxing to compete with Canelo Alvarez. But yeah, hit that like button for your boy. About to get ready to get up out of here. If you're just not stopping in, sorry, but you know, about to get ready to shut it down. Been on for an hour now. Oh my goodness. But yeah, man. I heard about Brian Norman Jr., Craig Smith, real quick. They say he could fight. Say he's good. He's somebody to look out for. They say he gave Crawford some trouble in camp. You know, that's what the rumor is. We go see. We go see about Brian Norman Jr. Somebody else to look out for. There's a lot of young talent that's on the horizon. That's not Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. You know, guys like Dave Morrell, who still ain't really got noticed yet. Brian Norman Jr. You know, it's a lot of young fighters, man. So these guys need to get their shit together before it's these guys' turn. He says, Bushido, have you ever thought about doing a fighter appreciation episode once a month? That might be a good idea. That might have to be a good that'd be a good idea. But I'd rather do a poll and let you guys pick. You know what I'm saying? I could be very unbiased, honestly, but I'd rather let you guys pick. So yeah, I'm probably start doing that, man. A fighter appreciation once a month. I'll probably start doing it in December. Yeah, must have been doing it in. I might start it next month, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, man, thank you guys for stopping in. Hit that like button for your boy. We go see what happens in boxing. We go see if Terrence Crawford could output his performance against Sean, if he stops Sean, will it catapult him above Canelo on the pound for pound list? Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.